because these sessions all are going to be recorded, and same recorded videos we need to share to every students later from your side. Let me start today's session. This is the first session of your Python full stack development course. So in this session, I'm going to discuss in Python full stack development, what subjects I'm going to cover, and each and every subject I'll discuss what is the purpose, and also I will give you clarity whether you need to go with only Python core and advanced or full stack development. So both courses duration I'm going to explain you. And can you please mute your audio from your side? If you have any doubt, you can try to share your doubt in chat box. So at the end of the session also, I'll allow you to speak with me. So you can share your doubts by speaking, no problem. But right now, when the session is going, in the middle of the session, any questions are there. So you can please try to give your question into chat box so that I can read and I can answer you. And I request you please mute your audio from your side to avoid some noise, because these sessions all are going to be recorded, and same recorded videos we need to share to every students later. So please do mute from your side. So let's begin today's session. This is Python full stack web development course. Python full stack development course. In this Python full stack development course, I'm going to cover these subjects like Python completely core and advanced, Django, and then REST API, and then Flask, and UI, that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, and then Bootstrap. Okay, these are the UI technologies. And finally, sixth one is, that is database is compulsory required MySQL and as well as SQLite 3, which is integrated with Django. So these are the subjects which I'm going to cover in our Python full stack development. So Python, Django, REST API, Flask, UI, MySQL, and SQLite 3. And if you go with complete Python full stack development course, so then the course duration is 4 months compulsory till take. So before 4 months, I can't finish. So if you have any time constraint, so duration like 2 to 3 months, if you are looking, then you can go for other options where you find. But it's not possible from my lectures, because I need to cover every subject in deep. So from scratch, and intermediate level programming, advanced level programming with respect to of all these subjects. So if you enroll for Python full stack development, so you need to travel 4 months with Durga sir. And for example, if you are looking only for Python, so core Python and advanced Python, that means basic and advanced level Python, then duration of the course is 45 days or 50 days to 60 days it will take. 50 days, maximum 50 days it will take to finish this only core and advanced Python. So now coming to this here, how we can select only Python core and advanced or full stack development. I suggest you, if you are a working employee, so already you are working somewhere, so in your project development, if they recommend to learn Python, which can be used in your project development as a script, as a programming, so then Python is recommended for you. No need to go for Python full stack development. And or else you are not a working employee, your requirement is you are going to do some job on Python completely full stack developer. So then in that context, I suggest you to learn complete Python full stack development. Or else you are a fresher, So recent passed out, or else you have a gap like 2 to 3 years, 2 to 2 years gap is there from your academics, then I can suggest you to learn Python full stack development. So that may be advantage. So once you have a strong knowledge on all these subjects area, so then you will be get more opportunities in reality. So more calls you will get in the context of all full stack development courses. Okay. Yes. Now coming to this, just a moment, someone is asking. See that if you have any questions, you can feel free to message in the chat box so that I can read, then I can answer you while session is going. But at the end of the session, let me complete my demo session today. And after that, at the end of the session, I'll speak with you 10 to 15 minutes. You can share your queries and doubts. I'll freely answer to you. Okay. So just let me complete this demo lecture so that you will get clarity. So then you can ask any type of question regarding this Python full stack development. I'll clarify your doubts. So if you go for only Python, then 50 days duration. And if you go for complete Python full stack development subject, which I'm here covering, like Python, Django REST, and Flask and UI Master, 4 months duration is required, sir. And every day session is going to be recorded, including today's session. So these recorded sessions, we will upload to you your Google Drive, so that my lecture of videos are just lifetime access and downloadable recordings also, along with complete soft copy of material. So every subject we will send the PDF, core and advanced, Django, REST, Flask, everything will send PDF only. So no need to get any what we can say, you don't get any problem while watching my video lectures and in the context of practicing, or you can follow my PDF document clearly. You will get what we can say, practical things, everything step by step I have included. So now let's speak about which subject is for what purpose and why these subjects. So you have to get clarity in the initial stage only. So anything if you are learning means you have to know in that technology, in that context. So what subject are there? Each and every subject, which purpose is required, you have to know that clarity. So that after getting a clarity only, so that it will be easy to learn. So which subject is required for which means you can get clarity so that you will understand clear concept. One thing for sure, in this all 6 subjects which I'm going to cover in Python full stack development, you are going to learn only one programming language, that is Python. Remaining all are not a programming languages. Okay, so strictly remember. So only one programming language you are going to learn, that is only Python, sir. Because every Python full stack developer or any full stack developer, I'm speaking like Java full stack, .NET full stack, at least the person should aware one programming language. So here we are going to work on Python full stack development. So you need to have the idea about Python programming language. So this is only programming language what we are going to learn. Remaining all are not programming language. Then what are that remaining, sir? Okay, yes, let me discuss about Django, REST API, Flask. These are all frameworks. You are going to learn frameworks completely. But that too, these are all Python based frameworks. That means if you know Python, then you can move for Django, REST API, Flask. If you don't have any idea about Python, so that is not required to go to Django, REST, Flask and all. Okay, so I strongly recommend if you know Python, then only it is possible. Obviously, you can able to get it. Okay, no doubt at all. So now coming to this, without knowing about Python, so you can't move for Django, REST API, Flask and all, because these 3 are frameworks which are completely written in Python language. A person who know how to manage the Python script, that person can able to understand Django, REST and Flask. And coming to this UI technologies, to learn UI technologies, no prerequisite subject is required. Happily, you can able to start directly UI technologies at any time, no required Python or Django, something like that. UI directly can able to learn. And coming to this MySQL and SQLite 3 also, to learn MySQL and SQLite 3, so not required to have any prerequisite because these are all completely database things only, database related things. Yeah, for working persons in Python, in the sense, if you know already Python functions and Python object-oriented programming principles, then Django is useful, compulsory, and along with REST API also. Most of them, they will teach Django, but they'll skip the REST API. But without REST API, we can't imagine that Django is fulfilled. So that's what Django with REST API, if you learn, that will be good deal actually. Okay, yeah. So now coming to this, to learn this UI and MySQL, no prerequisites are required. Prerequisites are required. But now coming to this, to learn Django, Python is compulsory required. And also to learn REST API, Django is compulsory required. So this is the link is there. That's what orderly I'm going to cover all these subjects in detail. Once again, I'm telling you, to learn Django, Python is required. To learn REST API, Python as well as Django both are required because REST API is completely dependent on Django. It's an extension subject of Django. Using Django along with Python code, we are going to generate APIs, application programming interface. That too, this API is going to be generated by REST architecture, representational state transfer. This is REST architecture. Nowadays, most of the programmers in real time, they are going to generate APIs by using REST architecture only. And coming to this Flask, Flask is also framework, I said. Okay, but to learn Flask, only Python is enough, not required Django as well as REST API. To learn Flask framework, only Python knowledge is required. And these are the link is there actually. Okay, so orderly how to learn it. But to learn UI technologies, not required anything. To learn MySQL, it's not required because UI is completely front-end based. MySQL is completely database storage only. Okay. Python certificate, if you want, you can do it, but no one will ask you certificate mandatory like this. So if you want to claim yourself as a certified developer, so after gaining the knowledge of Python, you can able to write the Python certification. So once you get a good credits, they will give you, Microsoft will give you certification so that you can claim as a certified person. That is add-on advantage. If a person is new person, then I will not recommend any subject. So you can start your career as a Python only. So even the most of the students will think like that, to learn Python, any prerequisite required? No, I can say no, not required to learn any C, C++ basics or anything. Directly you can go to Python or full stack. So I suggest you are a fresher means then full stack is the best option. You just hold a few minutes, okay? So that let me complete my lecture. So at the end, 10-15 minutes, I'll interact with you so that you can share your doubts and all one by one. I can give you answer clearly. So let me finish this each and every subject, which purpose we need to use. Okay. Now coming to this, Python is a programming language. Django, REST, Flask are frameworks. These are all Python-based frameworks, but these are all not at all programming language. But to work with these frameworks, compulsory one programming language is needed, that is called Python. And UI technologies completely designing purpose. This UI technologies and MySQL and SQLite 3 databases we are going to use in the context of Django as well as REST API. These two frameworks are need UI technologies for designing web pages or web applications. And MySQL also database storage area. Now let's discuss in detail what is each subject purpose actually. First, we are talking about Python, and make sure that to learn all these subjects, Python is the first focus. So that's what our concentration first 45 days to 50 days fully, completely concentration is on Python only. Later, we'll begin with Django, REST, Flask, and all. This UI and MySQL will come along with Django and REST framework only. So first Python side. So what is Python and what is the use of Python? As I said that Python is a programming language. Python is a programming language which is used to write coding part for the application development. Python is a programming language which is used to write coding part for the application development. Generally, any programming language you can take. So what is the use of programming language? Generally used to write coding part only. If you want to generate or design any software application, compulsory coding and logic code is required. That logic code we can write with Python language only because we are using Python full stack. Even Java full stack developer, they'll go for Java. .NET full stack developer, they'll go for C# .NET. So there are some combinations are there. So you have to follow that combination. You are in Python full stack developer. So Python programming language is must. You can't escape it from. So Python language can be used to write coding part for the application development. Then coming to this, what is Django? As I said that Django is not a programming language. Django is a framework. Okay. So what type of framework it is Django? So Django is a web development framework, and which is used to develop 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 web applications, which is used to develop what type of applications? Web applications means websites with including UI only. Web application means the application which will provide services over the web is called web application. That web application development purpose in the Python context, we use a framework called Django. So Django is not a programming language. It's a framework. What type of framework means? It's a web development framework. Especially it is used to develop web applications only. But sir, what is framework generally? Framework is nothing but it's a collection of rules or set of rules, predefined rules, or it contains lot of built-in libraries. Using that libraries or using that predefined rules and regulations, we have to develop the application. So already rules was decided. You have to follow that rules, framework rules. They have given completely framework libraries. You have to install it and you can go through them implementation. But make sure that only Django will not work out to develop web applications. Okay, if you want to develop any web applications with the Django framework, compulsory Python is required because we are going to write complete code in Python only. We are going to write website code completely written in what? Python language only, sir. So without Python, you can't go for what we can say Django, sir. Python, because this Django framework is completely written in Python. So Django framework completely written in Python. So I strongly recommend to learn Python before going to Django. Okay, it's a web development framework which is used to develop web applications. Now coming to this REST API. So what is REST API? So REST API is also a framework. REST API is also a framework which is used to develop the APIs. Nowadays, you know that APIs are playing very much good role in real-time applications. Okay, so now coming to this, the APIs means application programming interface. So application programming interface. I'll discuss in detail about REST API when it comes to its own subject like Django. After I'll talk about more things. I'll talk about API more things. But in a simple way, I can say REST API means it's a framework which is used to develop the APIs, that is application programming interface. So generally nowadays, many of the users are using their mobile devices. In their mobile devices, then all are having lots of applications like YouTube, Swiggy, Zomato, or banking applications like that. But the person is communicating the applications through APIs only. Whenever we are going to open any YouTube app from our mobile device, that YouTube app will send request to YouTube API. That API will communicate with YouTube applications. And same like application can send response to API. API can deliver response to our mobile device. So that means what you understand here, API is nothing but act as a middleman services, act as a mediatory software. So this can be used to take requests from the client, and that same request can be sent to server. server can give response to the API will give response to the client only. So it is act as a middleman services or mediatory software, that is API creation here. But in most of the cases, the APIs will play the major role in real time, because in our daily life, we are having different technology applications in our mobile device. But finally, for doing your transaction complete, we are communicating with different technology applications, so that multiple applications communication is possible with APIs. So in simple way, I can say the API is used to talk multiple applications with each other. That platform is called API only. So this is about REST API. This is a framework which is used to develop APIs for communicating with the different applications, especially in Python platform or Django platform. So without Django, you can't go for REST API. So Django compulsory required along with REST API. With the Django only, we are going to create APIs only, because Django is a web application development framework. In the web application development framework, first of all, we have to generate APIs for remaining different services which are going to be used from our web applications. So that API can be used by different technologies people. So that's what we need to generate APIs. Communication medium. API can be used to communicate with different applications. That is API only here. So this API we are generating with what architecture? REST architecture. REST means representational state transfer. So this architecture, this is the design architecture pattern. So this pattern through only we are going to develop APIs only. So that's what I'm saying, REST API. So REST API is a Python point of view, we can call it as REST API. Even this REST API in the Java point of view, programmers will call it as RESTful service. Okay, RESTful services. And .NET point of view, they'll call it as web APIs. So terminology is different. According to them, it's a different terminology, but purpose is same only. In Python point of view, we can call it as REST API only. Okay. Now coming to this, what is Flask? Flask is also a framework, sir. Look at this. Flask is also a framework. Flask is also a framework, and also it is what framework? Web development frameworks. Flask is also a web development framework. Sir, you know that you're saying like Django is a web development framework. Again, Flask is a web development framework. So which is used to develop the web applications. Using Flask also we can able to develop the web applications. But the difference between Django and Flask is a micro framework. Flask is a micro framework. Flask is a micro framework. That means using Flask, we can develop only single page applications. Using Flask, we can develop the single page applications only. Single page applications only we can develop using Flask. In real time, generally Flask can be used to develop microservices or small scale applications, or obviously feature scope is a lot. Nowadays, Django can be used to many well-known companies like what we can say Spotify, Spotify, and also Udemy and YouTube, and so many Mozilla Firefox, that app, that the browser, previously it was PHP, now it's migrated into Django. So there are a lot of websites are there with Django, with Python, even including Flask also. Okay, so the lot of top level companies are using. So it's obviously scope. If you are looking forward for web application development with related to Python, I can suggest you strongly Django only. Okay, it's a good, no problem. So Flask is a web development framework which is used to develop the web applications. Flask is a micro framework. Using Flask, we can develop single page applications, but using Django, we can develop not only single page, multiple pages applications, and medium level applications and huge scale applications also we can develop using Django. Okay, so Django is the scale is different, and Flask is a scale is limited, scope is limited. Only small scale applications and single page applications can be developed here. So Flask and Django, these two are web application frameworks you are going to learn. Now coming to this UI, sir. UI, user interface. So obviously, in real time, so any website, if you open, compulsory UI is required. So whatever you are going to see on the screen for the first time when we open or any website visit, so you are looking that screen. No, that screen is nothing but UI screen only, user interface. User interface means finally when user is going to enter into the website, how the user is going to interact with the web form or registration form. This is called user interface kind of thing. That user interface we can prepare with the UI technologies. Imagine that no website is exist without user interface, without UI technologies. So I'm talking about UI technologies. So these are the UI technologies which I'm going to cover. When, what is recommend for especially Django related topics through. I'm going to cover all UI technologies here. Okay. Yes. So Python related questions. See, the thing is, once you join my sessions and you have a clear platform to communicate with us any doubts through mail, because all the recorded videos and material officially will come from my mail only. So you can able to communicate with mail for all the doubts and queries. You can post your screenshot where you are getting the problem in the practical session. So I'll reply clearly there. So UI technologies means like HTML is there, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, and then Bootstrap. So these are all the UI technologies basics which I'm going to cover in related to Django, how much it is needed for Django REST API Flask. Then I'm going to cover all the things which related to UI technologies. In this UI technologies, lot of things are there like HTML. So why HTML is required here? Generally, HTML stands for hypertext markup language. As you know that it is used to prepare the web pages only. Okay. So if you want to describe actual content of the website, then HTML is required. HTML is used to generate web pages. So only web pages not enough, because sometimes I need to do some more look and feel I want to bring for my web pages. In that context, we can go for CSS. This is for what actually styling. Styling for web pages purpose, we can use what actually CSS on cascading style set. So only if you go through HTML, your web pages look like normal you feel, but you want to make your web pages more look and feel is better. So when compared to normal style, then you can go for CSS, styling for web pages. Okay. Yes, we can do it. That will come in Django with MySQL concept, with joins concept only here. Okay. Yes. Now CSS cascading style sheet, that styling for web pages purpose, we use CSS only. So cascading style sheet. CSS is only for HTML. So if there is no HTML, you can't apply any CSS. Compulsory CSS is required HTML elements or HTML tags only. Because on the tags only we can apply some styling for styling for HTML. Now JS is there, JavaScript it is. It's one of the most scripting languages in every web development. So you can't imagine there is a website which is running without JavaScript. You know, every website is going to be integrated with JavaScript, and obviously JavaScript is used to make functional. Functional means dynamic web pages, dynamic pages creation. Functional or dynamic pages, meaning is what? If we create HTML, only HTML is going to be static resources, like the pages will display, like registration form will display, or login form or change password form. We can design, and with styling CSS, page is available. But how do we make some functional? So interaction pages, like if I entered username and password or any data in the HTML pages, but how the data is going to be validated, so how the functionality will make, so then JavaScript is required. Most of the cases, JavaScript are going to be used for validations, form validations, means user inputs are correct or not. If you want to cross verify, then JavaScript is required. Okay, yes. So now coming to this, see, we are asking Spring Boot. Spring Boot is related to, that is in Java related, but I can't talk about that Spring Boot. So if you ask me any Django related question, that will be good, and I can able to answer at any extent level Python related. Okay, so that's what. So JavaScript is a functional or dynamic web pages. That means if you want to perform any validations, form validations, whether user inputs are correct or not, if you want to check, then you can go for JavaScript along with HTML. Again, to perform actions or functionality, HTML tags are required. So because once we write JavaScript functionality, we can attach to that HTML page where we can perform the validation by calling JavaScript functions only. We'll discuss that also in detail in our session. So I'll try to create JavaScript functions and call in the web forms like HTML forms, how functionality is going to be takes place. And coming to this jQuery, Bootstrap or advanced UI technologies, these are designed and developed by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript only. jQuery as well as Bootstrap. Both are advanced UI technologies. These two are designed by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. jQuery is a JavaScript library. It's an extension of JavaScript. jQuery is what actually JavaScript library. So why jQuery, sir? Because we have already JavaScript. So JavaScript is nothing but it's a completely code from scratch. Code from scratch. Code from scratch. That means if you write the code from scratch, then it will make more code. So that means if you want to reduce a lot of code without writing the code from scratch, if you want to use directly library which is available, then jQuery is required, sir. Actually, jQuery is required. jQuery is an advanced JavaScript library. So it is just making some code is less. We can do more operations. jQuery libraries you can download from jQuery.com. And Bootstrap is nothing but combination of JS as well as CSS libraries only. JavaScript and CSS libraries are combinedly available in the context of Bootstrap. This Bootstrap will make more look and feel of your web page. More look and feel of web pages. So we will focus on more Bootstrap only in our Django web application development, because Bootstrap functionalities will bring lot of look and feel for our web pages when compared to normal HTML as well as CSS. So these are UI technologies for which purpose we are going to use. These UI technologies which I'm going to cover when I starts with Django. First few days, 5 sessions, Django introduction, Django setup and application running process I will tell you. After that, we will focus on UI technologies. Once we complete that UI technologies, which is recommended for Django, how much it is needed, all the topics will be covered. After that, we will focus on completely Django lectures. Once we complete Django, the extension subject is there, along with the Django with Python script, how to generate APIs in Python development. So we will focus on REST API. Then finally, we will go for Flask. This is the last framework which I'm going to conduct the sessions in our Python full stack development. Flask is separate framework, which is not really needed. Django REST API for learning Flask. Flask is only for Python is required. Okay. And UI anytime you can learn, and MySQL. What is MySQL? See, as a full stack developer, you should have at least basic idea about any one database. That I'm recommending MySQL. MySQL and SQLite, both I'm showing now, because SQLite is one of the database which is integrated with Django. Whenever we what we can say, create a Django project or application, automatically you will find one integrated database, SQLite only. This database can be used to manage everything with Django related stuff. In case if you want to manage your database separately, then MySQL is recommended here. But it doesn't mean that Django and Python do not support MS SQL like Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, MongoDB, and other databases. Yes, Python and Django can support any type of databases, but just there is some common combination in real time. Most of the Python applications are going to be used MySQL as a database, backend SQLite only. That's what I'm including MySQL, because it's a common combination. You know that most of the Java programmers in full stack development, they'll prefer to use Oracle as a database. Most of the .NET full stack developer, they'll prefer as MS SQL is a database, Microsoft SQL. And we preferred in Python full stack development, MySQL is the majority of the cases. But it doesn't mean that Python and Django do not support other databases like Oracle or other database. Other databases also we can use it, no problem. But MySQL, I'm going to focus. This MySQL basics also I'm going to cover in the respect of Django as well as Python only. So SQL3. This is called database storage. Database creation purpose we use for storing 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 user data or client data, we can say that. So compulsory database idea also need to be required, sir, because you are the Python full stack developer. You should have maximum idea about at least one database and at least one programming language and frameworks and UI technologies. So this is completely what I'm going to cover in our Python full stack development. Each and every subject purpose is what. So once again, I'm telling you, in entire these 6 subjects, you are going to learn only one programming language, that is called Python, and Django, REST, Flask are frameworks. These are not a programming language, but these frameworks, if you want to manage, you need one programming language, that is called Python. To manage Django and REST, Python is mandatory. To manage Django, to manage REST API, Python and Django is mandatory. To manage Flask framework, only Python is mandatory. And to manage UI, no prerequisites. Directly you can learn with UI technology. And this is also MySQL directly you can learn without linking with any other subjects. These two are completely separately you can learn it, no problem at all. But in our lecture, all I'll cover according to our convenience. So first focus is completely on Python, sir. Okay, complete Python, because without this Python, you can't move with any subjects in our Python full stack development. So that's what I want to make you comfort in Python 45 days to 50 days. Once you know how to deal with Python script, so it will be easy to handle with Django, REST, Flask, and any other things. Okay, so this is about complete overview of Python full stack development course, each and every subjects which you are going to learn. All the subjects related recorded videos I'll send to your Google Drive along with complete soft copy of material. You just Hello, can you hear me? So this is about Python full stack development courses and which subject is required to what purpose I included clearly. If you have any question, you can feel free to ask me now so that I can give you answer clearly. Yeah.
Hi, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Tell me, what's your question?
Okay. I have a few questions to ask, Ashley. Hi, my name is Sherry, and I have a question. Like my first question is, do we have, apart from providing video, do we have any online class where we all student can discuss discuss
No,
the Python? Hmm.
the thing is, I mean to say, apart from class lectures, any platform is there to share the doubts and
Yeah,
all these things you're asking?
yeah.
No, there is no platform, but only the option is you can contact through mail only.
Okay.
Yes.
And how many hours I have to study every day because I'm doing a job
Yeah, yeah, it's okay.
full.
Good, good, good. But actually, the class is every day according to Indian time, IST, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Only 1 hour session. And if syllabus is not going to
Okay,
cover within the 4 months duration, I'll plan weekend sometimes 1.5 hour also every Friday and Saturday. So that will be good. And from your side, practice is compulsory required. Without practice, you can't do anything. So only attending the classes is not enough. So compulsory, you need to practice at least 1 hour daily. If you practice, that will be good.
okay,
And at the end of the day, you will be satisfied undoubtedly. So that you will build confidence on this.
okay. So you said that Indian timing 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, right?
Yes, Indian time.
Okay, so is that a everyday class or
Everyday
at
class, like Monday to Saturday classes will be there. Only Sunday is the off.
okay, Monday to Saturday?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
and my fourth question is, my fourth question is, so as you said that, is it and like, is it possible to get a job after doing this course for 5 months?
Obviously, why
Or
not?
do because this subject is very vast, right? So I cannot cover everything in 5 months. 5 months is like a very short period of time. So, do you think I would be eligible to find a job easily by just doing this course?
Obviously, you just leave it to me how I'm going to cover within 5 months. You will see this what subject you are going to get that. So it's a very clear, not a problem. It's not a big deal. Easily we can able to do it.
And what is the first job which anybody can start who doesn't have any knowledge about the Python, who has experience in IT, but no knowledge about the language, Python or Java, like
That's
me?
that's
From
that, that,
what
that's
job?
that's the reason. What job means completely software developer job only will get undoubtedly. So once you learn the Python, so you can claim yourself as a Python programmer. You have to attend interview based on that. So they'll test your knowledge, how you strong about Python and REST framework or Django like that. Then they can hire you as a developer. So you should start work with Python only.
Okay, so do I need to get the certificate from any institute to, get a job?
See, not required, not required. I personally not suggest Python certification because the reason is if you are a working professional already, then already have experience like minimum 5 to 10 years. Then if you want to looking for promotional or on-site opportunity, then
Hmm.
you can prove yourself as a certified developer. So then I recommend certification. But normal student not required to get a certification from Microsoft. So you can
And
claim through your own subject only, not required.
and do you provide a certificate just proof that we attend
Ah,
this?
that's we can do it from our end. We will provide so and so person completed successfully this course, like date
Okay,
and from duration and all these things with your name. We will provide. That should be in online only. You can download it and you can claim that also.
okay. Thank you. You answered all the question.
Yeah, yeah. Any more? And you can find this video lecture also Durgasoft YouTube channel after 2 3 hours. if you want to repeat this, only 5 lectures will be uploaded for every online classes for mine. So after that, you can enroll the course and you can continue my lectures directly attending online. How pay overseas payment? Yes, no problem regarding this overseas payment or all these things. Then our team will take care of this.
And
So, and
okay,
they will assist you how to do all these payments. So they'll mail you because you have already
okay,
registered with your mail for this Zoom meeting, so that automatically they can get your mail. So they'll mail you how to do this process and all.
okay. In the chat, I didn't see the branch code, and I see the account number, but there is no branch code.
See,
So
I'm not aware of this payment, all these
okay,
things, because my duty is only to take the sessions, but our backend team will take care of this. So anyway, I'll ask them to send
okay,
all these details to you so that you can find that. No problem, no hurry to do this payment option. Still, you have enough time to do this. Please feel free to attend the sessions, 2 or 3 sessions more, no problem at all.
okay. So the transaction usually it takes 2 3 days to
Okay, okay.
to get into the account. And I just want to let you know that you are, I have watched many Python class on YouTube.
Okay,
Your explanation is the best one. This is
okay,
my honest. Yeah, I left a comment in your YouTube channel. The way you are explaining, it's excellent actually. You
okay, okay.
explain very well. I hope I will learn a lot
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that
sure, sure.
those 5 months.
Surely, I'll not disappoint you finally. But if you say like that, then I'm fearing about myself because I need to reach your goals and all these things. But anyway, I'll do my best. Thanks for your
Thank
comment.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
One more.
Yeah, please continue. Then after I will ask my question.
Hello, sir. Dibigant is here. Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
One question from my side. If I want to know about the how to write a query for comparing the two table in Excel, I need to join the full stack development, or I need to only the Python is good.
See, that's what I am asking once again. Joining two or more tables purpose, generally we used to use a concept called joins concept in MySQL related, but you are talking about Excel sheet. But Excel
Yes.
sheet in our Python, actually there is a concept is there CSV file, comma separated values dealing. So that is possible with only, you are talking about Excel sheets. There are two tables, we can merge it, no?
Yes, by the yeah, in the database also SQL query is there.
No
Need
problem.
to
That is required. Only Python is enough, because in our Python we will deal with connectivity, database connectivity also, MySQL and SQLite, and even Excel sheet also we can interact with CSV files. No worries. We can go for Python first. Then if your requirement is huge again, then later also you can decide to continue my lectures of Django and test and Flask other things. But initially you can go through Python. So let's see this what will happen.
okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Shashank here. Yeah, sir. Right now I'm working with a MNC, and I'm not liking my job there. I'm working in ERP, and I'm more interested in develops in software development.
Hmm.
And basically, I know core Java. Then after I know Spring Boot as well. But
Hmm.
nowadays I'm hearing about the Python more. Means people are talking about the Python more, that Python
Yeah.
has a good future scope. So that's
Hmm.
why, yeah, Python is more known for its machine learning part. Then after data
Data
science
analysis,
part.
data
Yeah,
analysis or
yeah,
statistical analysis. Yes.
yeah, but I don't know about the in-depth development. Means, yeah, means just I'm hoping for the best. Means I will be able to get a good job after completing that Python full stack development. So can
For
you
sure, for sure.
yeah,
That's what web development purpose we are introducing. No, lot of frameworks here, Django, REST, and Flask is there. So that's what people might aware of that. Anybody, those who don't have any knowledge, also they know about Python little bit, but they don't aware of much more Django, REST, and Flask frameworks.
yeah,
So
right,
that's
right,
what you you are going to do this also, so that finally you will get clarity. So how we can develop the applications using Python and Django, all this.
yeah, right. Means, see, once I will complete that job, that I can start looking for the job. That, but after that we are still, see, I have some experience in IT industry, but that's not relative, right? Not relatable. It's I can be able to claim that I am still a fresher. Means in the case of fresher, can able to get a job in good company with a handsome amount of salary.
Obviously you will get, but only the thing is finally how
Yeah,
you work on these all frameworks and Python, and how your skill set was improved, that's a matter finally. So
yeah, right.
there is.
See, one thing I know means my see, I have developed a logic, means through the years, through all the years which I have. I know some part of the C, then after some part we can say in C++, then Java. So means the basic is clear. See, once you know any language, that means you have developed your logic. Means you can easily learn any other language. This is what I
Sure,
know.
sure. That's true. That's true. But because you have already aware of the core Java, whatever you said, that's add an advantage for learning Python. It's an easy when compared to them also. But those who don't have any basics also, you need not to fear about this Python, because it's a very simple and straightforward language. Those who don't have any background of IT or CSE also, they can come and learn happily. So you can settle your career with Python only, undoubted.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I have I think I have a one thing to share with everyone, that with learning with the if you learn only the REST API, you will able to find the job, because I cracked the interview for the REST customer support engineer for the REST API. They just want you to know only the REST API. Even that's enough. Last time I cracked the interview, however, like with the help of Google, they gave me an assignment before, for the screen test. They gave me an assignment to do it with the REST API. So I did it by using, by Googling it. And then later on, I couldn't get through that job interview because they were looking for the more experience. So if you I'm just sharing my experience, so everybody will have some like some knowledge, that if you have little bit, like not little, if you know about the REST API, there is a scope also for the REST API.
Yeah, yeah.
For the REST API is a very vast. For 2 days I was just googling it, and then how anyhow I finished that assignment and then submitted to the HR, and then they selected me. But they were not ready to take me because I don't have experience at all. I told them honestly, because I don't want to get like the flunked after getting the job. So I just told them honestly that I don't have experience, but I just googled it and I got through it. And, yeah, that's it. I just want to share my experience with my last job interview. I had an interview 2 weeks ago with the REST API customer support engineer.
Yeah, yeah. That's what REST API is mandatory. As I said, that Dijang after you must and should learn REST API, because we will also focus more and more on REST API only, because a lot of things are there to create an APIs, but all are built-in classes also available. That's what focus is more on API with Dijang.
Okay.
Yeah. And Mr. Karim Sheikh, basically, okay, I can't explain in Telugu because my target audience are different places that they cannot understand. But I can somehow I can manage for you. At least you can able to go through your language. I can understand, no problem. I can give you answer in a basic English only. No, not at all.
Mohan, question. Will you be also teaching the coding best practices and the peptide standards for coding in Python?
Obviously, that standard Python enhancement proposal we will follow. So what guidelines they are giving, so same pattern you can observe in our editor how we are writing the code.
Okay.
So this is for today lecture, and tomorrow we'll meet again on same link. So after finish this course, I'm eligible for front-end developer also. Please provide Some resume simple. Yeah, I can do it. But front-end developer, instead of claiming as a front-end developer, you can also claim that is Python full stack developer. That's better actually.
Yeah. Sir, one more question. After completing this course, not means apart from your teaching, do we need to follow some other website or some another thing means or
Yeah, that's your wish actually. Even that is true also, because as a trainer I can tell you what needed according to this all subjects, okay, but from your end also same as it is, whatever I covered the examples and hands-on things in our session, not need not to practice same thing. You can do some R&D by looking some websites or Google it, and you can get more knowledge. And you can also do some experiment. In that experiment, if you have any trouble, you can just ask me, then I can clarify that. That thing also very good actually.
okay, yeah. This is what I
Yeah.
want.
Exercise that I'll take care, because every topic I can post some questions so that you can come with your code, and even I will come with my code, and after that we'll discuss in the class at the end of the session, so that different students will come with their task with different code. So that will be good to know each and every task how we can able to finish differently, which is the best one also will conclude finally. That is also it's a common thing in daily.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
Is it possible to change the timing like 7:30 to 8:30?
No, sir, I'm extremely sorry, because my schedules are completely packed up. Even I have to start 8 a.m. here in my institute offline. I'm waiting for going there. Every hour there is a session, so I can't able to do that.
Sir, because of this session in 7 to 8 a.m., sir. So it's not possible to join this.
Yeah, that's I can agree that, but from my end, it's not possible, because once I shift the time for this batch, then for my every batch is going to move half an hour after till night 10 o'clock. So I can't manage this. This is big deal for me.
So anything, sir, new batches will start for
New batches are there from Durga Soft. So many, no problem. Other faculties also there. You can inquiry with them. So you can feel free to join with them. No problem at all for us. So you can go through them also. It's fine. But my batch is,
So
this is right now currently one after long time. This slot only I got it, free slot. That's what they schedule my batch now.
so when this batch class will start?
So you can assume that this is already started. So only demo lectures for 5 days or 4 days only. You can, from your end, this is
Okay.
demo lectures, but my end, it's already regular sessions only.
Okay.
Yeah,
So same time, right? Every day?
sure, same time.
Okay. So for the link, do we I will get the Zoom link in my email, or I have to go to the website to
No,
go
actually,
software?
I think you will get the mail also today. So you will get the
Okay.
Zoom
Yeah,
link
I
also.
got it. Yeah.
For
Mm-hmm.
first 5 days only, you can use this link, and this is for
Okay.
demo purpose. Our Durga Soft team will handle this link for 5 days. After enrollment,
Okay.
all students, then everything session is in my hand only. I can able to manage that GoToMeeting link. I'll give from my side.
Okay. So can I, if I have a question regarding the payment, how to make payment, do I need to, can I respond on that email which I got a Zoom link?
Surely you can respond to them. And what's your name, so that I can inform to them also immediately, so that they'll
Yeah.
mail.
Sure. My name is Sherry, Sherry.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So I'll inform to them so that they'll interact with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So I'm sorry to say this is, I need to leave. It's time, because on the same link, some other session is ready to start. So that's what they're asking me to stop. So sorry for that. Any more questions, I'll answer you quickly in tomorrow's session after end of the session. So that have a nice time. See you tomorrow.
Sir, last
Thank you so
question.
much.
Sorry, sir,
Tell me.
last question.
Tell me.
Yeah, I am a job in data analysis. Do I need to join with Python or full stack developer?
Only Python, sir. Only Python is required. Don't waste your time and money for joining full stack. Only Python is enough for you.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, fine.
Excuse me, sir. I have one quick question.
Tell me first.
Yes, I'm also working as a data analytics, so I just want to participate only Python class.
Only
I
Python
don't
is
want.
required. Only Python is required.
Okay, so the pay is gonna be different, or is the same pay?
No. Different, sir. Different. You should pay less. But I can't disclose the pay details as a trainer from my side. You can contact to them, so they'll assist you clearly. Okay.
And I'm from Texas, USA, so you should provide us different kind of link for payment because I can't pay on the bank account.
Yeah, that's things, everything's my backend team will take care of that. I don't know much more about that, so they'll take care of. They'll assist you. Don't worry. Okay.
All right, thank you, man. Bye.
Yeah.
So for all the six SQL, UI, Flags, REST API, Django, Python, all of them, whole package is 5,000, right?
No. It's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's not only Python. That is, you are saying that, but other all total package, that is different. You can inquiry with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I am actually a kind of intermediate. For example, I can write classes, and I can write some functions, and I use my Python for my table comparison or get data using ODBC jars to the my database, and some wraparound scripts. I just do it with Python. And so I don't know whether I should start here or I should start with advanced, or this is that one.
So as your wish, you can just take the few sessions so that you can decide that. Actually, in basic Python, we are going to cover complete fundamental concepts like how to work with loops and while loops, nested for loops, operators, data type, even more data structures also there. That is very important to deal with every time data, and even functions, modules, lambda expressions. These are all we will cover into core basic Python only.
Okay. Because I know like all the data types like dictionaries, tuples, and then I can work with the JSONs, and then lambda functions. I'm quite comfortable in using it. So I mean, basically, and also I'm looking at packaging, like how to package, and the advanced concepts in classes, like how we can do the encapsulation or abstraction, how we can do it using classes.
Yes.
So that's what, because for my right now the knowledge is for any functions I create a class or method in that and I use it. So I'm at that level only. Probably I mean you are a better judge on that, so I just thought of checking.
No problem. You are the correct track only, but we will discuss in our session like in detail about class and each and every method inside the class, how it will behave exactly. Because different types of methods are there, not only one method. Obviously, class contains several methods like instance method, static method, class method, and different types of methods.
Correct. Yeah.
Different point of scale, we have to use that.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's begin today's session. And in the last session, we just discussed about basic subjects which I'm going to cover in Python full stack development, like Python, Django, REST, and Flask, UI, MySQL. And even I have discussed clearly which subject is for what purpose also. I clearly mentioned in the last session. And today's session, I'm going to give complete overview of Python because this is our main subject. Without this subject, we can't move forward for any frameworks and other process. So this is our first subject and Python. So what is Python means, as I said, that Python is a programming language which is used to write generally coding part for the application development. And here we need to know that what type of language it is. The reason is already we have existing languages like C, C++, Java, C#, .NET, more vast languages which can be used rapidly in every application development like Java and C#, .NET. So that are also strong enough to build any application. But why Python became a popular language, and also why people are moving towards Python? So what is the reason behind that means? So basically, Python is having simple syntax and straightforward code, and there is no complex syntax, and you need not to concentrate on Python script more because it's a straightforward, everybody can understand. Because of this reason, it's not became a popular. The main reason was it's provide completely huge standard library. That is the main reason, one of the key reason why Python became a popular and so oftenly used language in everywhere, means it's provide completely huge standard library. Libraries means it's completely pre-defined classes and along with methods. So in each and every aspect of application, so once we download Python software and install, you will get plenty of libraries. Directly you can able to use it and you can implement your application code. So once the libraries are available, so no need to write the code from scratch. You can able to reuse that libraries and you can inject that libraries to your application and you can use that stuff from there. So no need to write code from scratch. That is the big advantage of Python. And moreover, the advantage of Python is completely cross-platform as well as platform independent also. It can run on any platform. So that means it's a portable language. We can migrate from one platform to another platform easily. And moreover, the libraries which will come in the context of different applications. So the person who wants to develop data science or data analysis, they can get libraries like pandas, matplotlib, numpy. These also I'm going to cover in the end of the session of Python. So pandas for data analysis purpose and matplotlib is for visualization purpose. Pandas and matplotlib are developed on top of numpy. So numpy is also one of the part of our session. And data science or data analysis application purpose also, they are providing completely libraries and even statistical analysis and machine learning, artificial intelligence and network programming, and also business applications, gaming applications, and many more applications we can develop using Python. For all the applications, Python supports built-in libraries. So that's the reason the programmer choice obviously to build their application quickly without interacting with a lot of code. Directly they can collect the stuff from Python libraries. So that's the reason Python became a popular language in every projects or in every technologies. Python contribution is there nowadays. So that's the reason. So Python is a simple and straightforward, and it's provide completely huge standard libraries. Because of this reason only, Python became a popular language, one of the first choice as a programmer in reality. Now coming to this, Python is what type of language is? Python is a general purpose. So everybody knows that what is meaning of general purpose. So general purpose means it's not a specific language which can be used to design for specific type of application. It's completely general purpose. This can be designed for develop any type of applications, not only specific. Like using Python, we can develop web applications, standalone applications, and desktop GUI applications, and gaming applications, and data analysis applications, and many more. So it's not designed for only specific point of scale. It is going to use it to develop complete different types of application. That is the meaning of general purpose programming language. And coming to this, Python is a high level programming language. Meaning is, as a Python programmer, while writing Python logic, so we need not to concentrate on low level activities. That means memory management and security. All these things built in available in Python. So Python will take care internally so the memory management with the help of garbage collector and security with code access security. So it takes care everything. You need not to contribute from your side. So no need to concentrate on low level activities because it's a high level programming language. And coming to this, Python is interpreted programming language. Interpreter. So generally, whenever we go for like a C language or C++, even Java and C#.NET. So Java is both interpreter as well as compiler. But these are most of the cases like compiler only here, compiler based language. What is meaning of compiler based? It's a simple, when we write the code in these languages and the code will be compiled, whole program at a time will be checked and run. That is called compiler. But when it comes to Python, even JavaScript also, so it is interpreted language. Interpreted. Interpreted based means whenever we write the code in Python language, that code can be compiled, that code can be cross-verified or checked line by line only. So line by line code will check and execute. So that is called interpreted. Whole program at a time it will check and execute. That is called compiler. So Python is interpreted based. So that means how many number of lines you write in Python script. So each and every line separately will cross verified and it will execute. So that's because of this reason, always Python execution speed is little bit slow when compared to these existing languages. But it doesn't mean that it is a drawback of Python, because it's a useful tool also. There is a debugging option is there in Python. So whenever your code is going to be run line by line, as a programmer, you can find out easily where the mistake is available. You can do that debugging of programming clearly while working with line by line code. So this is interpreted. That's the reason when we write huge number of lines of code in Python, so you don't recognize the number of errors which will be displayed in the output window every time. Only one error will be notified. So that is the reason is when Python start execution from the first line, if all the lines are correct, for example, imagine that line number 5, there is some problem. Immediately Python interpreter will stop the line number 5 code and it will show the error clearly on which line it's available and what type of error. So only one error you will notice because of it is interpreted only. So when it comes to these languages like C, C++, Java, C#, .NET, these are all compiler based. How many lines you have written the code, whole lines will check and execute. That's what we notice in these languages, especially while working with these languages. Programmer will notice that multiple lines errors. Like if you face like 5 errors will display and with along with line numbers, and 10 errors, 20 errors. If there is no errors, obviously compiler will successfully generate the exe file. It will ready to execute now. But in Python, not like that. So it won't generate any exe here because it's an interpreter. So each and every line by line code will check and finally it is going to be executed. But it doesn't mean that there is no compilation in Python. So in Python, compilation also there, but as a programmer, we are not going to do compilation explicitly. Internally, interpreter will take care of that compilation line by line checking process. So this is about interpreted. It's an interpreted based. Even JavaScript also interpreted, because JavaScript also same almost equally Python. So now coming to this, Python is dynamically typed programming language. Dynamically typed programming language. This feature is very useful feature for programmer side, because in other languages, the programmer need to take care the data type at the time of writing the code. So now you can see statically typed these languages. Statically typed means at the time of declaring any variable, the syntax of declaring data type or variable in other languages, this is the common syntax, data type, then after that variable name equals to value, and then semicolon is ending with the statement, that's must. If you miss semicolon in other languages, so it will give error completely. Suppose here this is my syntax. Int is data type I declared as a programmer because my value is 10. So I have to know that this value based data type. So if this value is float, I can't say that it is an integer, so it will give error. So I should have the clarity about this data type and variables clearly. This variable data type, what I need to do. So that's what here it is statically typed. Means at the time of writing the code, you need to decide the data type of the variable based on its value. But in Python, there is no problem at all. So it is a dynamically typed. No, dynamically means during the program execution. Statically means before execution. So dynamically typed language means in Python, no need to define any data type. Just we can say variable name equals to value, and variable name is equal to value and 10 only. Even no need to give any termination symbol like semicolon, because Python program automatically terminated once line is ended. Even if you include this semicolon also, it's not wrong in Python. It will accept it, no problem, but it's not required. So you can see this. I didn't mention any data type of the variable before declaring the variable. Even if you mention the data type of this variable like this, it will give clearly syntax error. It will not allow you to declare the data type from the programmer end because it's a dynamically typed. Based on its a value, data type will be decided. For example, I want to show you this one quick example. For this, I'm just opening a default editor that is called IDLE. Whenever we download and install Python software, you will get a default editor that is called IDLE, Integrated Development Learning Environment. You need not to worry. I'll discuss in next session clearly how to do Python setup from scratch, what softwares are required, how to download and install it, and what is our complete editor. Throughout our sessions, we'll discuss in detail. But right now, I would like to show you a simple program. So how data type dealing. So ideally software I'm opening. This is the default editor. As soon as when we click on this IDLE, so you'll notify this is IDLE shell. This is editor tool. So in this editor, just I'm typing a is a variable equals to is operator and 10 is a value. So here you can see as soon as when we hit the enter, then automatically 10 will be assigned to A. Do you want to print A? No need to use print print statement. It is optional to use here. Directly you can say A and enter. You got this value clearly. And you can see if I declare int A equals to 10, this is wrong. In Python, so dynamically data type will decide for the variable, so that is integer, but we have mentioned integer from our side, that is not correct. So integer invalid syntax it is. So if I go for this value A and A is printing, but I want to know that which data type is assigned for my variable. So if you want to know that, just simply you can go for type function. Type is a built-in function in Python to know which data type is assigned for your variable. It's a class type integer type. And even if I declare the A is 23.4 and A is printing and type of A is what actually float type. So like this, based on the value, data type will decide internally. So we need not to specify any data type in Python. Only you should focus on the value which you want to assign to them. Then that value, based on its value, Python interpreter will decide the type of variable only. Okay, so this is one of the advantage. So you need to focus on only values and variables. No need to think about data types. Okay, so but it doesn't mean that Python do not have any data types. Lots of data types are there, like int, float, bool, complex, and even more sequence or collection data structures are there: string, list, tuple, set, dictionary, range, and so on. So a lot of data types are there here clearly. Okay, so we'll discuss that data structures also in our upcoming session. So now you can see dynamically typed. Okay, now coming to this, Python is case sensitive programming language. Case sensitive means how the way you declare the variables and the function names or class name, any names. Same way how to access, you cannot able to access different way. For example, if I declare a value 10, then I can access that through print function a only. But I cannot able to access this with capital letter A because it's a case sensitive. What the variable you declare, like name of the variable or name of the function, name of the class, how the way you declare, same way how to access. If you access in different way, it won't work out. So ultimately, Python is a general purpose, high level, interpreted, dynamically typed, and case sensitive programming language. What type of language means? Now coming to this, why Python? Why not other language? Just now I discussed clearly, Python provides a flexible way to write the code when compared to other existing languages. And moreover, Python syntaxes are very simple and straightforward. There is no complex syntax. And also, Python provides lots of built-in libraries, which will make programmer task will be easy. So you can able to write the code directly by using that libraries. And imagine that when compared to other programming languages, so for example, if you want to display some output on the screen like hello world or welcome to something like that, if you want to display some single line output statements onto the screen, if you go through Java or C or C++, at least minimum you need to write 4 or 5 lines of code because the structure is like that only in those languages. If you go for Java, first we need to import packages, and after that you have to declare the class, public class name, and let open bracket, close brackets are there, and public static void main. So many things are there. For example, you can see this Java language. So I'm including one class like public class name is what we can say, just class name I can use, and open bracket, close bracket. This is very simple, straightforward structure also, but somewhat complex because every time you have to follow these rules and regulations. If you miss any brackets or semicolon or something, so it will give error something. String, square bracket, arcs, then open and close. Finally, if you want to display any statement, system.out.println, I can say hello. This is the code actually in Java. But here in Python, needed not to write these many lines of code. Almost same lines you can write in C# as well as C language also. But in Python, not required to write these many lines. In Python, simply if you want to display hello, then just use print statement. It's a print is a function. You can say that hello, that's all. So one line is the matter. So easily you can able to manage the code clearly, sir. Okay, this is what hello statements we print in Python programming straightforward. But how that manage? Yes, it's an interpreted language. No class is required, no method is required, no object is required. But here line by line code will check whatever the lines are stated. Now you can see this this line automatically will execute. Yeah, please go ahead. Your question? Any question?
So when you write the code, do you need to, is it necessary to write the bracket and then a semicolon?
Not
Or
required.
we can just,
See, the thing is here, if I use semicolon, it's not required here. Here
okay.
brackets are required here when we go for some PyCharm editor or other editor. But whenever we go for some ideally platform, so now you can see here, no need to use any print. Directly you can go for hello, or else you can write like print function also we can use like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you manually type the bracket open and bracket close?
Yes, I'm manually typing because it's ideally. So brackets will not come by default. There is no IntelliSense option. That's what I suggest you in our upcoming session. Also, I'll introduce so many editors. In that, I'll go for right editor like PyCharm editor. Then we go for PyCharm editor, and everything will become in the IntelliSense like suggestion. So you need not to worry about where we should use capital letter and small letters and brackets. Automatically, it will capture from IntelliSense. But here, no IntelliSense. So automatically you have to take care how to write your program with spelling mistake. Even you can see when I try to write something P capital and hello, I can say, I don't notice that here error until we execute the program. So when we execute the program, error is noticed here. So P letter capital, did you mean print? Yes, I mean print only. But this type of things will not be available in upcoming editors like PyCharm editor I'll introduce. No, there don't be any problem like this.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I strongly recommend to use a proper editor and professional editor which is exclusively designed for Python. So that will be recommended in the initial stage of Python learning. So if you know already how to manage the syntax and Python script and well, then you can go through any editor. Even you can write a code in Notepad, Notepad++, any editor you can use. Because if you go through Notepad and Notepad++, even ideally platform editor tool, there don't be any IntelliSense and there is no recognition tools are there. That means what programmer is expecting, it won't populate you. So that is the big problem in the initial stage of learning Python. So what I suggest you, better to use PyCharm editor, which I'm going to continue all my lectures, including Django, REST, Flask, UI, everything will be covered in PyCharm editor only. That I'll introduce in tomorrow. So I'll show you installation steps and all. You can compare with which editor is best. What use your comfort, you can go through that.
Okay, thank you.
So this is why Python means it's straightforward syntax and easy, simple syntaxes are there, and that's what we preferred Python here. So in Python, there are huge standard libraries are there, which may not available for fulfilling any application type in other languages. That's the reason people are moving towards Python for make their applications are properly and quickly development process is possible with Python only. And now I'm going to discuss a small history of Python. So Python was designed and developed by Guido van Rossum. He's the man who invented Python. And in the year of 1989, the first version of Python was released in the year of 1991. So this is the first version in the year 1991. The version number is 0.9.0. And later the versions are like 1.x, 2.x, 3.x. X means there is lot of subversions are there. There are a lot of subversions. So now you can see 1.1, 2, 3, and so on like that, 2.1, 2, 3, and so on, 3.1, 2, 3, and so on. So I'll given clearly, I have given clearly this all version in my PDF actually. So you can able to find that PDF attachment once we send this. So now you can see, let me open the PDF so that you can get clear idea. And even versioning is main version, you can just remember, remaining versions are not required. So these are the versioning clearly, which I mentioned in my documentation. So look, these ones. These are all subversions, but not required to remember all these versions. Main versions are, this is 0.9.0 and 1.0, 2.0. Right now we are in third version, and the current stable version is 3.11.0. How do you know that current version, stable version means? So you can visit this official website, that python.org, so that you will come to know what is the current stable version. Right now, Python 3.11. So Python was designed and developed by Guido van Rossum. He is the man who invented Python in the year of 1989. The first version of Python was released in the year of 1991. The current stable version is 3.11.0, 1.0. And you can see, visit this official website also. Simply you can go to Google and open this what we can say, tab. Let me go to Google and download Python. You can search simply. Yeah. So you will be able to see this official website, python.org. Now you can see this is latest version, download Python 3.11.0. And if you want to download this current stable version, click on it. And also, if you are looking for old versions, you can scroll down. You'll be able to find the plenty of old versions here. So each version you want to work on that version, you can click on download and you can use it. So we are using latest version only, 3.11.0 in. And moreover, Python is completely cross-platform, as I said, which will be run on Windows, Linux, Unix, macOS, and others. So if you want, you can download and install it quickly. So it's not a big deal to download here. It is only 1 minute of time. I'll show you complete downloading and installation process and set up everything in tomorrow's session clearly. And now this is the versioning. And now why Python? We can call it as this programming language. Why we can call it as Python? Actually, the author, the name Python was selected from TV show. There was a TV show which was broadcasted in BBC channel at the time of writing script of Python language. That TV show name is called the Monty Python Circus Show. So the author was selected and named Python from this show, and he has given working title of his programming language called Python. That's what we are calling Python. And mostly the author developed Python language by taking all programming features from different languages. For example, programming features from C and object-oriented programming features from C++ and scripting language features from Perl and Shell script and modular programming features from Modular 3. So finally, we created a functional oriented language, object oriented language, structured oriented language, that is Python. That means Python supports a lot of data structures. We need to discuss that also. And Python supports a lot of functions. Then functional oriented also. That means it will be provide reusability. If any programming language functional oriented, that means reusability is possible. So we can able to reuse the code without rewriting the code. So the main point is Python. We cannot repeat the code. We can use the code. That means we can able to reuse the code. We cannot repeat the code. That is the matter. So instead of repeat the code, we can reuse the code. How we can reuse? Using functions and using object-oriented programming. In both cases, we can able to reuse the code. But functions through we can reuse the code, but scope is limited. Why? Because inside the function, how much code you write, that code you can able to reuse it. But in object-oriented programming, there is a lot of scope is there inside the total class, how many number of functions we created, that class completely can be reused through inheritance concept. In inheritance, the parent and child class generally will be created. In the parent class, whatever we have implementation, that's by default will applicable to child. That is inheritance rule. We'll talk about that in detail in object-oriented programming. That means in advanced Python. So this is official website of python.org. This is, if you can download any version, you can able to download from this official website clearly. Now coming to this application area of Python. So generally, this Python language through which type of applications we can develop generally. Application area of Python. So what are the general applications we can develop? So we can develop standalone or desktop applications using Python. We can develop standalone or desktop. Standalone or desktop application means once we design and develop the application using Python, so the application in which mission you install over there, that mission only it will be run. You cannot able to run on multiple devices, and also we cannot able to exchange the information from one system to another system. We cannot able to share the data or communicate. So this is fixed with only one particular system or one particular computer. This type of applications are standalone or desktop. But in standalone or desktop, there are two types of applications are there. One is console application. This means CUI, this command user interface or character user interface, CUI. Command user interface or character user interface, we can say that. This is CUI based. That means as a programmer, we need to deal with every time characters only. Your input should be in the form of characters and output also will come in the form of characters. And moreover, using Python, we can develop desktop GUI also, graphical user interface. This is, that means Windows calculator is the example of graphical user interface application. Meaning is as soon as when we open Windows calculator, you can see this is Microsoft related. Okay, but you can even in Python, we can develop this kind of application. This is completely GUI scenario. So there are some buttons are available and text boxes available. We are interacting with this form. This is called GUI mode, graphically well designed. This type of applications are desktop GUI, and even this is graphically designed, but it's not a distributed application. Still, it is a standalone. Only we can install in particular device. On that particular device, this type of applications can be work, like gaming application, most of the cases. Okay. And coming to this, using Python, we can develop web application. This is our main motto in Django point of view. Web application means these are all also called as online or distributed applications. Distributed applications. These applications can be provide services over the web. The application which will provide the services over the web is called web application. And for web application, you need not install any software. Directly, once we have a web address, you can go and type in the URL, automatically internet through, it will open. So all the applications, web applications are available to all users or all customers over the world. So around the globe, we can able to access these web applications. This type of web application also we can develop using Python, but only Python. It's not possible to build web applications. As you know that Django framework are required or Flask framework is required along with Python. Django is one of the popular framework, especially which is written in Python. It can be used to develop web applications. And Flask is also one of the popular micro framework which can be used to develop single page applications with Python only. And coming to this, not only web applications and network programming also we can write by using Python. See, before Python, most of the network developers were used C, C++ for their scripting and coding for managing that route configuration, all those things. But nowadays, these network programmers also are moving towards Python because they'll manage their code easily with Python built-in libraries. So next, testing. Testing application also we can build. So nowadays, testing Selenium, QTP, WinRunner, so many tools are there, automation tools in testing. They are asking to write Python script for writing test cases. Previously, they were used a programming language called Java as well as C# for writing test cases for automation. But nowadays, they are also looking forward Python test cases along with Selenium, all the things. In testing application also, Python can be used. And also we can develop very faster rate application is possible. That is gaming applications we can develop quickly using Python because a lot of gaming libraries are there. And Python became a popular language for especially in this area only nowadays, data analysis, or we can call it as data science. So majority of the people are using Python script in the analysis programming and data science programming. Those who are looking forward for data analysis and data science, please try to concentrate more on data structures of Python, which I'm going to cover in our upcoming session, and data types and data structures. These data structures will play the important role in analysis part and visualization part in your case. So those who are looking forward for data analysis or data science programming after learning Python. And then Python also can be used in AI, artificial intelligence, and now ML, machine learning, and also deep learning. And also we can say Python through we can develop a business applications. If one of the client came with business applications according to their business needs, you can collect the requirements from them. You can also fulfill that requirements by using Python with Django or any framework also clearly. So this is the basic area, application area of Python, and lot more also we can do this. So web applications, network programming, testing, gaming, analysis, and data science, artificial intelligence, ML, DL, business applications, and many more are here. So this is exactly application area of Python development. Like means using Python, we can develop these applications clearly. And some important basic features also I'm going to discuss. So after that, we'll begin with the installation setup, mostly in tomorrow. So let's go for Python features. So as I said that Python is a simple and easy to learn. This is one of the basic feature, simple and easy to learn. So Python is a simple programming language. So when we compared with other existing programming language or C, C++, we will write less number of lines of code. That means it's more readability and simplicity. We can reduce development of cost of the project also, because quickly we can finish the Python code compared to other existing language. And other feature is Python is completely free and open source. Free and open source. The code of Python is completely open to all. So you can visit official website python.org. You can read the documentation clearly. If you can understand, you can get the code from there and you can implement into your code. It's a free open source code, and software is completely free software. You need not to do any license and you need not to pay to anyone. Directly you can visit python.org and you can get that software from there and install it and use your logics. So free and open source completely. So it's an open source so that we can customize the source code which is collected from the official website or Git repository from anywhere. Vast community is there. So based on your requirement, we can able to customize the code also. As I said that Python is cross-platform or platform independent. This is another feature, platform independent. So cross-platform or platform independent means, so Python can be able to run on any operating system like Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and any more. So it's a cross-platform. So it is not fixed with only Windows operating system. It can be run on any platform easily. So, and moreover, Python programs are completely portable. So that means portability in nature, portability. That means we can migrate from one platform to another platform easily. So platform independent also, like once we write Python program, it can run on any platform without rewriting the code again and again. Because internally, PVM is there, that is Python virtual machine, which will take responsible to convert mission understandable format clearly. And Python programs are portable. That means we can migrate from one platform to another platform very easily. So even after shifting the platform to another platform, the result what we get from other platform, same result we will get same other platform also clearly. So what we received the result from existing platform, same result you are expecting to other platform, result will not be changed. That is accurate result. Okay, that's called portability in nature, Python programs by default. And as I said that it is a dynamically typed language. That means no need to specify any data type. So data type will decide internally based on your value, what we assign to the variables. But in other languages like Java, C, C++, that are statically typed languages, then we have to provide the data type at the beginning only. That means at the time of writing the code. And coming to this, Python is having both procedure oriented and object oriented. This is also important, sir. Procedure oriented and object oriented. Python language supports both procedure oriented like C, Pascal, etc. How they are having procedures, and object oriented like C++, Java, C#, .NET. All features also there in Python. So we can get benefits like security and reusability. Everything is there in Python. And as I said that Python is completely extensible language. Yes, sir. Yeah. Extensible. Extensible means we can use other language programs in Python. That means if you want to use that C language code or Java code or .NET code, you can also extend with Python. The main advantage of this extensibility feature is we can use already existing non-Python code into Python so that we can improve the performance of the application. Because you feel that which I have written already C language, then I can rewrite, I need to rewrite into Python. That's not required. Directly we can able to extend that. That purpose we need to use some flavors like C programmers, they'll use some flavor called C Python, and Java programmers, they'll use flavor called J Python, and .NET programmers usually use Iron Python flavors. Use these flavors into their editors, then they can able to develop the code and they can integrate with Python. It's possible here. Extensibility is possible here. And Python is having huge standard library. This is one of the topmost feature. Because of this only, Python became a popular language. This is huge standard library. So that means once Python, if you download and install, you will get a lot of libraries. So Python has a rich in built-in libraries. Being a programmer, we can use these libraries directly and we are not required to write any code from scratch or functionality. Directly, all the functionalities predefined and pre-implemented that will come directly and you can use it and enjoy your code. So this is exactly basic and important features of Python. So these are the features and application area of Python and the versioning of Python. Which version we are going to looking forward in our session means Python 3.11.0, and we will discuss what new features are there in this 3.11.0 also. What was the previous version features? So python.org is the official website. If you want to download any version of Python, then you can visit this official website and get it the software clearly. And this is the small story of Python and what type of language it is Python we discuss in detail. So this is the basic idea of Python which we make. So next in tomorrow's session, we will go for making setup of Python. For example, you are new to completely Python. So how we can start the programming part in your system. I will assist you clearly. So step-by-step process. Those who wants to continue my lectures from tomorrow session, don't miss tomorrow session at least, because you will come to know a clear picture in tomorrow what softwares are required and how to make setup of that. And I'm going to introduce tomorrow a lot of editors and lot of possible ways to write Python script. Finally, we will fix with one possible way, and which is always good for beginners, that is PyCharm editor through. I'll continue my lectures so that you will get idea what are the possible ways to write Python script, how many sources are there, and which source is the best source for your practice. So we will come to know in tomorrow. So I request you, please join tomorrow. Those who really wish to continue my lectures, don't skip tomorrow session at least, because tomorrow is the important session. You can understand that downloading software and installation of software and making full-fledged setup of Python. Once you know how to make setup, it will be easy to handle in further session programming. So that's all from my side today. If you have any question, you can feel free to ask me now. I'll wait here for 10 minutes.
Hi, can we completely uninstall Python using pip, or is that only we have to delete that folder?
No, the thing is, what the way you install, are you installed did you install system environment or virtual environment is the matter?
It's system environment only. I installed through pip install.
No problem. Let it keep. Why you need to uninstall?
No, I have two versions. One is 2.4 and the 3. So this PyCharm is having a clash on which to choose.
No, that's what I'm saying. First, actually, whenever you go to directly command prompt and check version like Python space -hyphen version, then you can notice that which version is populating. That is system environment version might be, which is going to take first. And if you have any separate virtual environment, you can go to that environment. You can use that environment. That's what actually virtual environment purpose is. That is only.
Okay, so basically you mean to say we create a virtual environment on 3.x and we can point out PyCharm to that virtual environment and we can continue executing our script.
Yes. On that environment, which version you have installed, then that version will be impact on your project. So that's what programmers might be create different virtual environments to work on different style of coding. So that is virtual environment is likely.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So generally, when we go to command prompt and check the version, then on system environment, what version you install, that will be shown. That it's not going to show in virtual environment. If you want to check the versioning onto particular environment, then what we need to do, you have to move to that environment. After that, then you can check the version. That version will be display clear.
Okay.
Can you repeat point number 7 and 8, please? The features of Python.
7 is an extensible. That means what actually we can able to use other language code also, like C language or C++ or Java with Python.
Okay.
And line number 8 is it's a standard libraries. That means libraries means it's a collection of predefined stuff. So already pre-designed, this we can say straight away ready-made resources. These are all. That means already resources are available, which will be installed in your computer. That resources we can able to directly use in your Python code by importing that libraries.
Okay.
Suppose if you want to develop any game application, gaming libraries you can write on the top of the code. All gaming library stuff and functions, everything will come to your program. You can directly use that functions. If not, libraries available, what we need to do, we need to develop from scratch everything. That's big headache. Yeah.
And you said something .NET program iron. What is that?
Tell me.
You said, yeah, .NET or something like you said .NET program or and
Yeah,
then
that's what
I didn't get that. Mhm.
the reason is extensible means we can able to extend the other language code into
Mhm.
Python. Like C programmers generally use the flavor called C Python flavor, which they want to write Python
Okay.
related code. And Java programmers, they'll use the flavor called JPython, which is related to Java related type of code they'll write and extends with Python only. And same
Okay.
.NET programmers, Microsoft .NET is one of the famous tool. That framework also is useful. They'll use Iron Python flavor for writing Python.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. Means after completing the course, we are going to do some projects so we can have a hands-on on the project.
Obviously, that project all we are going to deal with the Django with respect of REST API, all these things.
It will be real time, right?
Yes, real time in the sense no real time. The word we cannot use real time, but majority of the people will get confused. The real time in the sense really if you have a client or you're doing a project for client, then that is called real time. But we will say hands-on project means we can take or we can create our own requirements and we can fulfill that requirements in the process of writing our own code. That is called hands-on project.